Hi, it's Laurie and Maria joining you again with another episode of Cocktails and Canine Conversations.
Today, and the newest member of our team.
And this is Sambuca. He's the head of HR. How about that? Head of HR.
I love it.
So we are here to talk today about something that is a topic that is near and dear to my heart, and that is dog sociability. And is a dog appropriate for doggy daycare or not? Will they be happy and healthy and thrive in an environment like a daycare? And when we think about dogs, a lot of people think, oh gosh, every dog, they're social, they're pack animals, they love being with other dogs. But after 15 years in the industry, we know that that's not always the case. So there is a dog sociability scale that we use at Playful Pups when we're considering dogs. I've talked about it in previous videos before. And in the dog sociability scale, it talks about 4 types of dogs. And that would be your dog social dog, your dog tolerant dog. The next one is dog selective. And the last category is dog aggressive. So pretty much every dog is going to fall into one of those categories. Right? So, and from a daycare perspective, we see all types. Now, generally the aggressive dog does not come for daycare. The pet parent knows their dog well enough to know that they won't be appropriate and they won't enjoy it.
Right.
So Maria is part of our daycare and training center, and she helps with dog evaluations. Mm-hmm. And when we do a dog evaluation, what are we normally looking for?
We're looking for a dog that's going to have good social cues, a dog that understands how to read another dog, a dog that's willing to allow another dog to approach them and not be super fearful, not be growling, not be really mean. And we're just looking for that dog to kind of be able to take it all in and kind of manage it.
Right. And to be, hopefully they're happy and they're having fun,
right,
and they're enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
But
and sometimes that takes a little time.
It does,
yeah,
because it's our environment is new for a dog. It's hectic and chaotic. Mm-hmm. On a given day at Playful Pups Retreat, we may have up to 100 dogs in our building, sometimes more. Mm-hmm. And that is hard for a dog to tolerate sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
the energy is very, very high.
Yes. So when you're doing an evaluation, you're going to give consideration to the age and the socialization that a dog has had previously, right?
Correct.
So let's talk a little bit about that. Puppies versus an adult dog, maybe. You're the puppy queen. Mm-hmm. So let's talk a little bit about puppies and daycare.
Yeah, I love me some puppies.
Mm-hmm.
Puppies are normally very social. They normally take to other dogs very well. And the reason I'm saying normally is there are some that don't. Mm-hmm. You know, they just don't. It could be a breed thing, it could be genetics, it could be anything, right? But puppies are generally pretty social, and I love that we have a puppy socialization program that we can start them young and get them around other dogs and have them, you know, really feel comfortable in that environment. But there are definitely some that they don't like it. Mm-hmm. They don't like other dogs. They don't like the atmosphere. They don't like the energy. And we talk about energy a lot.
Yeah. And they would be dog selective, most likely.
Yeah.
And maybe the overwhelming environment in a daycare facility, whether it's Playful Pups Retreat or anywhere else, it might just be too much for them.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about the teenage dog, those adolescents who may or may not have had good socialization when they were young. We know that socialization when you have a puppy is critical.
Right.
So, but if you're adopting a dog, if somebody goes to a shelter or a rescue and they're adopting a dog, you may not know anything about their history.
Right.
So
Right.
how do we look at it when we're doing an evaluation for that recently adopted adolescent dog maybe?
Adolescent dogs, I mean, all around are tougher. So when we have an adolescent dog come in, we know right off the top of our head that we have to watch for certain things. How do they approach another dog? A lot of times adolescent dogs, especially if they've never been socialized before, they may love other dogs, but they don't understand the cues. You know, dogs have their own communication. And you might see, I have pet parents say to me all the time, you know, well, he showed his teeth. Well, he may have been correcting the other dog. You know, did he go after that dog? No, then he was correcting.
Yeah.
So we have thank God we have the ability at the daycare and we have the knowledge to be able to look at something like that and go, okay. And sometimes we'll even say, tell them how you feel, because we know it's not going to be an aggression thing. We know it's not going to be mean. We know it's not going to lead to anything else. However, if we do see the other dog or the current dog that we're looking at, and we do see them take it a little bit too far, maybe that's not right now. It may be right in 6 months.
Right.
It may be right after some training. It may be right, at a different time. But right now, that dog may need just to learn social cues.
Right.
They may need to learn how another dog is going to respond to them and where enough is enough.
Yeah. And that's critical that that you know how the dog is communicating. And that's what they're doing. When they give those corrections, that is their method of communication. So it's really important as pet parents that we all take the time to understand dog body language and dog communication and what those signals that they give, what they mean, because they do have meanings, for sure.
I know when I teach a puppy class, we always have a little 5 to 10 minute play time after class. And these are all puppies. So they're like, ping pong balls in a blender.
Yeah.
So we put them out there and we always start and we say, keep them on leash and just walk them around. Just get them used to being around other dogs, walking past, doing all that stuff. But when we finally do get to the point where we're dropping leashes, now we're at the point where we're watching and so many pet parents are like on edge.
Yeah.
Oh. And I'm like, let it go. You're fine. Let it go. Just play it out. Yeah. Because I can tell if it's going to get bad and I will step in immediately. But the pet parent can't. And sometimes the pet parent will turn around and they'll try and grab the dog or they'll try to correct something that didn't need correction. So that's where these puppy play groups are really good for the dogs.
Yes, they're valuable for the pet parents and the puppy.
Yes.
For sure. So let's talk a little bit about owner guilt.
Yeah, we see this a lot. Because when we have dogs come in that do not pass an evaluation, whether they're overwhelmed, whether they, really are dog aggressive, dog selective, one of these 4 quadrants, but they're not, we call them green light dogs, right? They're not the green light dogs that can just walk into any daycare and
a green light dog would really be that dog social.
Yeah.
That dog social dog. And from what we know, only 10% of dogs fall into that dog social category.
Correct.
So pet parents often think that something's wrong with their dog, but that is not the case.
Right.
It's very common. The majority of dogs cannot successfully be in a large group of other dogs off leash, nor do they want to be. They're not happy, they're not thriving. And as a pet parent, that should be our ultimate goal, for our dogs to be in their happiest state.
Yeah, what we normally see when somebody comes in though, I personally always ask, what's your goal? Do you want them in daycare? Do you want them in our enrichment program? Are you looking for training? Like, what's your ultimate goal here? And a lot of them will say, oh, I just want them socialized. Socialization is so vast. It's not just putting your dog in daycare. It's, there's so many different, we'll have to do one of these on socialization.
Yeah.
We'll have to do one of these talks on socialization. But a lot of times people just think, well, we'll just put him in daycare. It'll be great for him. It may not be. So a lot of times we see that pet parent come pick up that dog and they're embarrassed. They feel sad. They feel like they failed their dog. None of these 3 should be felt. None of these.
Yeah.
And I get it, because I probably, without my knowledge now, I probably would feel the exact same way. My dog, Pino, the little one back here in the garden, again, well, actually both of them are back there in the garden, but Pino went to puppy social skills and daycare since she was 8 weeks old. And around 3 years old, Pino was telling me, I've had enough. I don't like it anymore, and dogs can age out.
Yes.
And we see that a lot. We see that a lot. And, if you're looking for a place that you need a place for your dog to go, that's great. We'll find something for you. But it may not be daycare, and don't feel that that's a bad thing.
Right.
It's not a bad thing.
No.
It just may not be for your dog. And what's our ultimate goal? Our ultimate goal should be to have a thriving, healthy, balanced, loving dog. That's our ultimate goal. And if that dog doesn't want to be around other dogs, so be it. Yeah. I tell people all the time, you know, they're either a dog or a people dog, and some of them are both, but that's a very small percentage. Very small percentage.
It really is, and that's fine, right? That's what we see. And for us as pet care professionals, right, Playful Pups has been around since 2010, so we have seen thousands of dogs coming through our doors, and quite often they'll be dog social. They want to party hard when they're puppies and they're teenagers, and then as they age, they become that dog tolerant dog.
Right.
And the zeal that they felt with daycare originally kind of goes by the wayside, and they become happier hanging out on the sofa. Now, we do have dogs that will come to us until they're 10, 11, 12 years of age, and they go to daycare. They love just hanging out, and they may just find a bed, relax, get some love from a staff member, but they're not really in it to party and play anymore.
Right.
And that's okay too.
But they're tolerable.
They're tolerable, right?
They can handle everything going on around them.
Yes, but it really depends on the dog. It needs to be personalized and tailored to best meet the specific needs of your dog, right? It's not that your dog is bad if they don't like other dogs.
Right.
It's
Please
just
don't think that.
No, not at all. And we hear that from pet parents a lot. That's why we wanted to talk about it today. So as we wrap up, Maria, what's the truth from a trainer perspective? What's the truth about dogs and what dogs need, in your opinion?
In my opinion, like I said, we want a balanced dog. So we want a healthy dog. We want a dog that can tolerate and adjust. Pinot may not like going to daycare anymore, but Pinot can be around that. We want a dog that's going to be able to mentally say, okay, I'm not really crazy about this, but I can deal with it.
Yeah. So resiliency, which we want in our humans also, right? We want to be resilient and adaptable and be able to change and just kind of go with the flow, right? So that's that's perfectly what we want for our dogs also, for sure. So
I really want to stress, if you're feeling guilty, if you're feeling that you failed your dog in any way, Laurie and I will both say it, please don't. That is not going to help you, not going to help your dog. Your dog is who your dog is. You love your dog.
Right.
So let's find, you know, at Playful Pups, for instance, it could be any daycare, but at Playful Pups, we have several different programs. If you're going to a good, reputable daycare, they're going to have a program maybe that might fit your dog's needs. You know, keep looking. Find something that works. And if your dog just wants to lay on the couch, let your dog lay on the couch.
Right. A lot of pet parents
back there.
don't want their dogs to be at home alone.
Right.
We hear that a lot these days. And that's one of the main reasons that we started a few years ago a day stay program. So it's daytime care for your dog, but it's not off leash running around partying in a group of dogs. It is, they have a comfy room, they have a cozy bed, they get time with staff, they might get a nature walk or a cuddle time, and they might get some games or time with a trainer, but they're not, they don't have to be in a group of other dogs.
And they're in their comfort zone.
They're in their comfort zone and they're happy. So if you have...
And your dog's being taken care of.
Yes, if you have a long day and you need a place for your dog, daycare, partying, playing, and off-leash with other dogs may not be what they would love and enjoy, but find a daycare facility that offers a different option for you, where they will thrive, where they will be happy, and they will get a lot of love and attention from the staff. Anything else to add, Maria?
No, I think, like I said, the number one thing is do not carry that guilt. If your dog gets kicked out of daycare, that has nothing to do with your dog. It has everything to do with these quadrants and where their comfortability lies. And that's it.
Where they are in that stage of their life. Right? Because as dogs age, they change. Their desire, their likes, their preferences, they're going to change and evolve, just like with us. Right? When I was in my 20s, I wanted to party a lot more than I do now, although we do still love a good cocktail.
Yes, we do.
So, Laurie and Maria, signing out from today's Cocktails and Canine Conversations. Be sure to join us the next time.
Absolutely. Cheers.